ask you to step into my shoes for a minute. Be me. Okay, maybe not these shoes, but probably a bit too French for this audience, you know, with the rooster crest. Let's try another one. Oh, another bird. I got others. Okay, these are more comfy. So you're a woman. You're about 40 years old, with a 20-year experience in international business, acquired over various industries and continents. And you've been spending the last 10 years driving great projects in a company you like very, very much. But you start to realize there's a problem. You realize that the people who manage you, the people who get promoted, the people who run the company are all the same. All white, all scientists or accountants, all suits, all men. Meaning, you have no future here. But meaning also, the company is not in a very good shape to address the diversity of its audiences and business challenges. In a way, the company has no future either. So, what can you do? Leave, accept, or do something? So, I did something. It was a Friday morning in January 2011, and I wrote an email to the CEO saying, "Dear Mr. CEO, several recent studies suggest there's a link between a company's financial performance and the proportion of women serving in its governing body. At the same time, gender balance in our company is pretty low. So my suggestion to increase, to accelerate our growth in the near future is to achieve gender balance at top level." And I ended up my email with a list of 13 measures that I picked up from the McKinsey Women Matter report that could serve as examples of, you know, concrete measures we could implement in the company, and I was asking for his support. So, you know, I wasn't super confident when I pressed the send key, because obviously I do not report to the CEO. And I felt it could somehow backfire against me. So maybe to reassure myself and to seek comfort from my peers, I forwarded this email to 3 friends of mine in the company, Corinne, Caroline, and Véronique. And I said, I know this will be useless, but at least I said what I had to say. The result caught me by surprise. Dozens of enthusiastic, supportive messages started to flood my mailbox that day. In fact, this email had gone viral, not through the CEO, through the 3 friends I had sent it to. And it triggered, from then on, a vibrant conversation about gender balance in this company. This was the beginning of the WiSP movement, Women in My Company. Women with a capital W and a capital M, okay? Women and men. Just 2 weeks after I sent my email, a dozen of us met for lunch and had, for the very first time in this organization, an open, live conversation about gender balance. And we decided to position ourselves as a positive, contributive think tank. We thought we could actually help the company progress towards modernity and equality by providing benchmark, IDs, best practices, etc. I set up a community on our internal social platform, and we decided that was the way to exchange ideas, thoughts, events, whatever. We've organized a first free, open, free brainstorming session at lunchtime, and then another one, and we've networked to grow, etc. And it worked. Just 6 months after it was set up, this community was already the largest community over the whole corporate group, not just the company I'm working for. And today, this is about 2 years later, we are almost 2,500 members, women and men, across the 5 big entities in the group and more than 50 countries. The movement has had an enormous impact in terms of visibility, change, expansion, and empowerment. It made the topic visible. You know, women have felt authorized to speak about gender balance. Men have stopped making fun of it, well, at least less openly. And the company has started to mention the topic in its corporate communication. It has also seeded change. An action plan was launched at company level with champions, a dashboard, management committee workshop, etc., and at group level too. And it has steered local initiatives to flourish. And today, 2 of our major affiliates in Latin America are now running for a United Nations gender balance certification. Can you imagine that? I mean, nobody talked about the topic 2 years ago. And the network has also expanded outside of the company. It's also an interesting development. We've connected with other big companies' gender balance networks, and to the point that we've created an association called Alliance pour la mixité en entreprise. We've organized a big event in Lyon last year, which 2nd edition is under preparation right now. And this network of network was rewarded by the Women in Action trophy last month, given by the largest media group in Rhône-Alpes, in the Rhône-Alpes region. And another good and very fresh news that I have to share today is that the WiSP network itself won a trophy just two days ago. The day before last in Paris, we were awarded with the Gold Trophy for Equality, given by APEC, which is the French Association for Executives Employment, in the presence of the Minister of Women's Rights, etc. So it's very nice. But empowerment is another great outcome of this project, of this adventure, because by connecting people, by showing them they were not alone in their frustration, and they could actually channel this frustration and make it, use it to fuel positive change. You know, it gave strength and courage to all of us. And since then, some introverts began to engage into collective, visible action. Some others started to reinvent their careers, etc. And I think this is the most, probably the most beautiful thing in this adventure, is that it has enabled people to move from non-awareness to awareness, from awareness to interest, and from interest to action. But why has it worked so well? I confess it was unexpected, all right? And serendipity certainly played its role. But as the community was growing, we've tried to analyze the key success factors. And I would retain 3 that are innovation, inclusion, and engagement. Innovation, or disruption, should I say here, comes from the fact we've done stuff that had never been done before. We've used, for example, a social network platform that had not been intended for this usage. It was used for projects, you know. We've seeded and nurtured a grassroots movement. We've organized innovative events such as free brainstorming sessions, cross-company public meetings, speed networkings, giant picnics, whatever, never been done before in this organization. And this has triggered a lot of attention, rapid spread of ideas, and innovative thinking. Inclusion, very important. Right from the start, the movement was open to all, women and men. Anybody can participate in the offline and online discussions. Anybody can opt in, opt out, speak in their own language, wherever they come from, and whatever department they work in, and whatever job grade they are. And this is such a difference from the usual corporate-sponsored networks, you know. Usually you are appointed to a group, or you are entitled to a group. And here, the only inclusion criteria is your interest in the topic, as per your own judgment. And this freedom, this trust, and above all, this inclusive mindset is a fantastic way to break down frontiers and barriers, you know. When everybody wonders how to break down silos, I mean, just do it. Engagement, of course. This is a story of engagement. And it takes a few people with enough history in the company to have a significant personal network. But I would say, I've noticed here that engagement goes viral. And people have been so interested in the project, in the way we were moving forward, that they've been able to dedicate, to create a new positive energy by working faster on other projects, or by sleeping a little bit less at night, or whatever. So this is the magic recipe: disruption, inclusion, and engagement. What did I learn from this experience? 3 things. Beside the personal satisfaction I got for contributing to a better workplace for everyone, there are 3 important points that I learned. The first one seemed pretty obvious in this era of social engagement, but I've seen it in practice here. A community plus social media trigger change. A community made of self-started, motivated people make each member feel stronger than if they were alone. They feel strong enough to dare. And social network enable people to, it enables engagement at scale, you see. It provides connection, speed, agility, everything. And the result of that is transformation, change, inclusive change, which is much more powerful than the changes decided and cascaded from the top. And the challenge ahead for companies wishing to create movements at scale is not simply to master social media. It is to learn to shape and support communities. And this will require not just new toolkits, but new mindsets. This last sentence comes from a very recent piece in the Harvard Business Review about creating social change with social media. Of course, the recipe works for business too. No wonder why all big brands are becoming social, you know, to accelerate business transformation, or to connect with stakeholders, to create value. Companies are moving towards social business. And I'm very happy to say that the company I work for has recognized the value of the WiSP experience, to the point that my job today is fully focused on communities building. And I'm putting together an ambitious engagement plan, which first results are very promising. So you see, we've actually created value for the company at 2 levels. One, by fostering gender balance, which is good for business. And second, by incorporating into business initiatives the valuable experience we got from this adventure. But this wouldn't have been possible if game changers in the company hadn't felt they could do something. So this leads me to my 3rd takeaway. Companies, nurture your corporate rebels. Don't be afraid by the wording, okay? Corporate rebels love their companies and want them to succeed. They want to reboot their cultural and organizational culture and install a 21st century version. They want to accelerate positive viral change from deep within the fabric of their organizations and reclaim their passion for work. Quite often, companies neutralize or cast out those people. And it's their loss, because they are a tremendous source of value by challenging the status quo and creating change. Leaders, HR, communication people, don't overvalue obedience to authority. Relax. Consider challenge an opportunity to see things differently and to move forward. Check out your corporate culture. How do you create opportunities for those with the courage to challenge assumptions and ask new questions? How do you make sure you remove obstacles to new ideas and diverse perspectives are heard? How do you free your rebels? How can you become a rebel yourself? Here are a few starting points. More broadly, how do you accompany the current transformation of hierarchical, vertical organizations into more networked ones? As futurist and workplace coach John Husband puts it, the dynamics of hierarchy have begun to morph into a new dynamics called wirarchy. What is it? Wirarchy is a dynamic flow of power and authority based on information, trust, credibility, and a focus on results, enabled by interconnected people and technology. And the success and the impact of our movement shows that wirarchy has arrived. My conclusion is very simple. You, as corporate citizens, as coaches, as consultants, you all have a role to play in making our organizations progress for the sake of business, but also for the common good. It's very simple. Listen to what the people have to say. Understand, understand truly with your brain and heart, and engage. Engage into a conversation and common actions. So this is the story I wanted to share. It's been a lot of work. It's been a lot of sometimes moments of deep frustration, but also intense collective satisfaction. And but really what moves me most, what's really striking for something that started with a mere email, is that it has actually changed some people's lives. I'm not just thinking of those great women who have been appointed to executive positions since then, which is super. I'm thinking of more, of less visible people, like Hélène, Sandrine, and whatever. And those people said that this initiative has enabled them, it was a trigger that has given them back pride and passion for work and a purpose. And let me also tell you about Sandrine, another Sandrine. Sandrine is an executive assistant, an administrative assistant in the company. She's been there for quite a long time, and she's been always very, very, very discreet, almost invisible. And a few weeks ago, Sandrine posted a message on our community network saying, "How WiSP changed my life." Let me read it to you. It's very, very short. Sandrine wrote to everybody, to 2,500 people, "How WiSP changed my life. I've realized how much we women share specific ways to behave, such as perfectionism, modesty, which prevents us from pushing ourselves forward, a lack of self-confidence. I've read interesting articles which help me develop new skills. I've discovered inspiring TED videos, Twitter, and very interesting information that is useful for my professional and personal life. I've come to meet many great people from other parts of the group that I wouldn't have met in my daily life. I've made new connections and learned from others. It helped me overcome my fears and act. So my advice is, develop your skills and network, embrace social media, and above all, trust yourself. This was just a few lines posted on our network, but for Sandrine, it's the start of a new life.